Hi Crafty friends, this is Phyllis. I've been gone for a long time on YouTube, but anyway, I wanted to share a project I did using Blue Fern Studios Bird Waltz collection, and I also am entering Donna Little's challenge and giveaway she is having for her customers. So I have been buying from Donna for, I don't know, a couple of years with she sells doilies and vintage lace type items. And anyway, I wanted to share with you what I created, and I'll show you what I used from her shop. So this is a doily, and I will admit that even though as pretty as they are, I tend to cut them. Anyway, I do a lot of layouts, and so anyway, this was one of them that I used. And then I used some of these pieces, and I will show you what I did. I'm actually going to not recreate, but I'm going to create a similar page that will match this one with all the techniques I did on this layout. So anyway, here is one of the layout, the doilies I cut, and here's the other piece of it. And then I placed the doily right here and also right here. And I actually placed one down here, but it got covered up, which happens a lot. And then here's another doily. So anyway, I did some stenciling on here. I did lots of die cutting and just layering with die cuts, and did some distressing. So anyway, I will start the process. Okay, so what I started out with was a craft cardstock piece, and this is for the backing of my layout. And then this is Blue Fern Studio Bird Waltz, I can't read that, Concerto, I believe is the name of it. And the design, this whole collection is designed by Jen Bishop. So here's the side I'm going to use. And okay, let's get started. So what I like to do is I take about maybe a 1/4 inch off two sides, and that way when it will help me with the bulk that I put on the papers to be able to fit inside a 12 by 12 sleeve, so it fits. Let me see if that's, I'm going to cut off a little bit more. I like to show the cardstock a little bit, so sometimes I have to trim a couple times to get it where I want it. Maybe it's closer to 1/2 inch after I do the couple cuttings. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to create just some little bit of decorative edges, but basically I do this and then I will distress the edges. And I've had these decorative scissors for years. Okay, so that's what I will do for now. I'm going to take the sheet off because I'm going to actually do some stenciling. And so I used Finnabair's stencil here. I don't know what the name of it is. I don't think that they put the names on these stencils, and I don't keep the packaging, so anyway. So I do a lot of different ways with stenciling. Sometimes I use texture paste, sometimes I use glitter glue, or this is a effect paste, and this is from Finnabair, and it is the crushed ice. I'll show you what it looks. That's what it looks like. So basically I will mix this on the side here. You won't be able to see it. I don't have much room on my desk here. Shoot, I should have kept here. I could actually do this. So let's just mix it on here so you can see my process here. So I tend to take a little bit too much, but I figure it's better to have too much than not enough with the way I mix up mediums. And so there's that. And then I have the Stormy, oh gosh, Stormy, I forgot the color here. They make the reading so hard here. Stormy Ocean. I should remember that. Oh, that's too bright. Anyway, that is hard to see unless you have good lighting. I'll turn that off. So, let me get a piece of paper towel. So I just get a little bit in there. And then this color is Rusty Red. I love this color. I love that Stormy Ocean too. And I have no rhyme or reason how or why I do this, but somehow it works out in the end. Let me see, there was a couple other things I used. Oh, I forgot to, I didn't cover my sequins container, and it's all spilled in my storage bin. Anyway, that was just a little bit of lime green, minty colored tiny sequins in there. And I also added, where is it? Just a little bit of glitter. This, I think I picked this up from Michael's. And this just gives it texture. Okay, so let's just, so I don't really mix it, I just kind of keep it there. I know it looks scary, and it is, but this is how I do it. And I don't try to make it perfect. As you see, it's not fully going through the stencil there, but I just kind of play around with it. And you can do as little or a lot of this texture paste. You can put a tiny little bit of color in there, or a lot. Just depends on what you're feeling and what you're willing to risk. And then sometimes I will go through and just kind of, there's always a little bit left on the stencil, and it will bring out some of the stencil outline. And what I do when I'm recording is once I'm done with the stencil, I put it in a container of water, and I will let that sit there until I'm done, hoping that it won't dry out. And so as you see, I didn't use any clear gesso or anything, any kind of prep for the paper. Sometimes it works good for me, and other times it really just makes the paper all warped. And what I've noticed is when I leave it, once I get done with this part, I leave it alone, walk away, go do whatever, and I come back and it dries, and it dries flat. But when I use my heating tool, it tends to bubble up, and you'll see that here. I forgot one other thing here. So what I did was use some Lindy's embossing powder, and they make them so hard to read. Let me see here if I can get my light back on. Carefree Vertigitis. I don't know. That's how I'm probably butchering it, but anyway, so I like to just tone that blue down a little bit, or even some of the orange. And I'm trying to think of what else I put on there. Let me see. Oh, and then I also used I think it was nutmeg from Blue Fern Studio. This is an embossing powder, kind of rusty, and these colors just kind of go with this paper collection. And so what I will do is just kind of shake that into the garbage, and then I'll heat set. Already forgot one thing that I did on the page. I actually used some washi tape. I can probably still do that. And I just thought that this color was perfect for this collection. And it just gave a little more interest. And I had no rhyme or reason with this either. I just kind of start putting washi tape down. burnish it a little. So I was supposed to do that before I did my stenciling, but I got ahead of myself. Okay. And I'm debating on whether or not to put this one in because that would be pretty, I think. Let's just go for it. My cutting is not very straight. You know, once I get going with my design, you probably won't even see most of this, but it does peek through. Let's just put another one right here. Okay, so let's give that a burnish. Okay, so the next step is to distress, and I use the Tim Holtz distress tool, and I just basically go along and do little or lots of distressing. Even if the papers tear on the end or they crinkle, that's okay, you just work with it. You could also do some stamping. I see that for me, there's already a lot going on in the background with the stencil and with the design of the paper that I don't really want to do any stamping. And if you don't have this distressing tool, I've seen people use scissors. You know, if you don't have all these tools that you see, you know, people using to create with, try to use what you have. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But I have found that if you just work with what you have, then you don't go crazy buying stuff that you know, don't necessarily need. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down. And then I use Fabri-Tac permanent adhesive, which is my favorite to use. Although it breaks the bank and sometimes it's hard to find, but anyway, I always try to keep that stocked up. So I don't glue in the center because to me it makes it more, I don't know how to explain it, but I don't care to do it in the center. I just do it on the side and I try to rub it throughout. Because once the glue dries, you can kind of sense feel where the glue is. And so, and this is where I go around and kind of, you know, just playing with the paper a little more, distressing more. Maybe even tearing it, but I don't think I'll do any tearing with this. Sorry about the blurriness. I have a webcam and it's not the best quality. So anyway, let me get this out of the way. And my next step, time is ticking here, so I want to get this done in less than an hour. Okay, so let me see my mess here on the side. So let me show you here. So on this, I did a die cut here. I think that was Spellbinders. And here was the inside, or one of the dies. I just cut those together and it cut out this piece. So I'm going to not waste that. It kind of blends in with this paper too much. So here's where the doilies come in play. I know I'm cutting it. They're really, really pretty, but gotta do what you gotta do when you're creating. Okay, so I'm just gonna place that right there. This is, I don't know, I don't really, when I create, I don't have any rhyme or reason. I don't think these things through. I don't plan anything. I just start playing. So the thing is, when I start overthinking stuff, that's when it stops me from creating. So most times I just start grabbing paper and embellishments and start creating. Okay, so recycle your boxes. This is what I do. I use it to give the photo mat, or you know, your die cuts some dimension. And I think I'll use 2 of them. And actually, before I forget, I'm going to use some cheesecloth. And if you don't want to wait, you know, I think you can fast forward this and watch the parts you want to, or mute me. I know when I watch videos, I don't really care to, you know, watch every single step. So I tend to kind of move forward to the parts that I want to see. So anyway, just know, I'm pretty sure you have that option. Okay, so just get some glue on these doilies. It's been a while, a long time since I've done a video. Well, a few months anyway. And then here is Blue Fern Studios lace. It's really pretty, and I like to just take little chunks of it and again cut out what I want to use. I'm just looking at my layout to see what I did. So I'll cut a couple of these pieces. And don't, you know, I don't know about you, but I keep all these little pieces because you can tuck those in and have a little piece sticking out, and it just gives your project more interest and more layers, which I love. Lots of layers. I'm trying to think. I don't want to cover up. So I love this texture. I don't know if you can pick it up and show you here. It's kind of blurry. Sorry about that, but that's what the texture looks like with the texture paste. And actually might set this right here. And let me look through this ephemera pack here from Blue Fern Studio for the collection. I don't even remember what's in here. I just got it out yesterday, but I think I'm going to use this butterfly. Keep that out. I'm just looking for a piece with more white on it. there's so much going on in this. I don't think I'm going to use any of these pieces except for that butterfly. Okay. One of my favorite tools to have on hand at all times is this Tim Holtz pokey tool. I don't remember what it's called, but that is a must for me. So here's another doily. This is from Donna Little, her shop. She sells on YouTube. And so I'll just place those there. And here's some flowers. Okay, at half point here with the time. And I think I'll put another. And then I have these Prima flowers. I don't want to cover up that doily. I think that's it with those, and then I have these bright yellow orangey flowers, which goes really good with this collection. And I will just tuck these where some of it is showing. Okay, so I kind of lay things out a little bit, and I'm going to start gluing these items down because it gets to be a mess when you try to glue everything down at once. You end up taking them off and then you don't remember where they're at. And this is what I love about this glue. Most glues you have, time to move things around, and this glue is really good though. It doesn't warp paper because it's not water based. Okay. It is kind of spendy though. So if I don't finish this video, the last part that I usually do is I put beads on, some glitter, and usually some micro beads. And if I have buttons laying around, that goes with the collection. That's where I like to add. That's the last thing I do. And sequins, sometimes butterflies. Okay, so I have some die cuts that I want to put down, and then I might add a few more flowers. Let's see here. I have a bunch of little die cuts here. And of course I did this ahead of time because it's too noisy, number one. Number two, I don't have any room on my desk. And number three, it takes a long time to do die cutting, but I love the results. So I love the, it brings so much to your layouts and projects. So I just kind of tuck them underneath where I just glued, and usually they will stay. And this is where I kind of play with the die cuts, because sometimes they don't go the way you hope, and other times it just takes a second to do. And then, like I said, this collection, it has so many colors and designs on it that some things do get lost. Oh shoot, see, it got hooked on there and I pulled everything. See how much time? You still have lots of time with this glue. You see it didn't hold it yet. It didn't dry. Okay. And some of these dies, I should have used a different type of paper with more white or whatever, so it would stand out. This one kind of blends in, but it still adds a nice touch to your layouts. And actually, I'm going to put this one down here. I think I only cut 2 of those. No, actually I have 3. And this one, where's my... So I need to poke out these little pieces. Okay, almost done here. I have these little leaves here. I bend the leaves. And you can add some glitter on these. You can emboss these just to give it more texture. Okay, I'll add a couple more of these. I love all these colors in this collection. It's like my favorite. Maybe one more here. And I might look through my Reneabouquets butterflies to see if there's something that might give a nice pop to this layout. I think I'll use those. And then maybe some of her beautiful board pieces, because I love the the white chipboard where I don't have to do anything to. One of my least favorite things to do, so unless I'm doing mixed media, then I don't really mind it because that gets messy. And trying to see if this piece, I might have to cut it. I just want to add a little more texture. Alrighty then. You might hear the AC come on here. It's right above me, so the vent. Okay, so like one of these pieces I'm gonna put over here just to add that color. And then Reneabouquets butterflies. And then we'll get to, I have a few more flowers to put on, and then the beads. And then maybe some buttons. These are one of my favorite Reneabouquets butterflies because they're my favorite colors. The blue and the orangey rusty brown. So I like to dab some glue on there, and that helps it stay in place. I take she puts double-sided foam on either, smashes the antennas between two of the double-sided foam pieces, but if I don't need that bulk, I take one layer off. Okay, some little tiny flowers here that I have a bunch of these little flowers. So I'm just gonna go place them wherever I feel there needs to be a little bit more. And I'm going to leave a link to my blog, and you can see close-up pictures there. Right now I'm not editing my videos because I don't know what to use. My window movie maker was removed when I had an update, and I don't have Windows 10, and I don't want to, so I need to figure out a good, well, I tried to download the Windows Movie Maker and from some site, I can't remember, and it didn't. It kept saying there was an error, so anyway, I did not get that, and so that's why you will get me. This won't be sped up or anything. Okay, so here I have some buttons that will match. This just gives a pop of color right here. Anyway, so for now, I'm posting on my blog and on here on YouTube. And there's no fancy thing about it. Okay, so I know, looking at the screen here, like I said, there's a lot going on here, but when the pictures are taken, it looks much better. So I have some of these little flowers I'm going to pop on. I believe these are from Reneabouquets shop. And I have about 20 minutes. I really don't want to make another video to this. So I think that is it, except for the micro beads and seed beads, which I'm going to get out of here. I can't make up my mind. I did use both of these colors on the other layout. I think I'll just do brown first, like I did, and then I'll put a little bit of the blue. And this is what I use, 3D gloss gel, and it's a mess. Oh, why am I closing? I need to close the beads. And put a few of the turquoisey tealy on here. This stuff is a mess. Ugh. So it will dry clear, it just looks like it's not gonna be pretty. And it's okay to have some globs of glue there. Because I can use that for adding some glitter and some micro beads. And what else do I, and so here is Blue Fern Studio glitter, and this is Sailor's Delight, which is one of my favorite glitters. I love this color. And then I'm going to add some seedlings from Blue Fern Studio, and this is Gold Nugget, which is gold. It's one of my favorites to add also. And if it looks like it's not going to have any glue, just kind of rub it with the other beads. And I always put way more than I, like too much. But I do that because there's going to be fallout. Okay, let me get my paper towel here. What I'm going to do is kind of shake it in the garbage a little. Not shake it, but just kind of let it dump. And the only thing I don't have is like some kind of title. Let me look through this again. This is where you can use chipboard, letters, or a word. Trying to see if this ephemera pack has. So I think I'm gonna, there's one here that says moments. I'm gonna cut that out. "10 minutes. And then I'm gonna give it a quick distressing. These are really small. What I like to do is prop that up, give it some dimension with some more of this cardboard. Right there. And I believe that is it. Let me move this out of the way. Oh no, I have one more thing to put on. Fun sequence. And I usually put about maybe 5 to 7, and I do it individually, and I don't use tweezers. I just kind of hold on to it and put some glue on and put it down. So please let me know what you would like me to create in the future here. I'm hoping to be a little more regular about doing videos, but I've said that so many times. Just life gets in the way, and too many things just kept me busy. I finally got my craft space all organized to, at least to the place of knowing where my stuff is. I try to keep it put away now after I do projects, so it just makes it easier. I'm in a little bit of a smaller space, so, but I am grateful for the space that I do have. Okay, I think that's it. Off camera, sometimes I'd add a little bit more, and that's just how I am. It needs a little more of this and a little more of that. So here is the layout. Once this dries, it's not going to look weird like that, but for now it just kind of looks like a blob. Anyway, so I hope you subscribe, like my video, and leave a comment. Help me. I know some crafty friends wanted me to create some cards. We'll see about that, because I just did a bunch of cards and I think I was done with cards for a little bit, so I don't know if that will come. But I like to do tags, I like to do canvases, altered bottles, altered shapes, you know, like a seahorse or anchor. Just leave me some ideas. So anyway, thank you again for stopping by, and until next time, happy creating.